They can hear me, but can they hear you?
I don't know. Can they hear me? Hold on.
HAC was never
I don't.
was never seen again. but I've done a resurrection, and I am back from the dead. Welcome, folks,
Resurrection.
to episode 193 of the HACJAC Show. Hello, and on the NRC in the chat. Hello, Ghetto. Hello, Miss Saren. Glad to see you guys, and hopefully more upcoming because we got some nice things to share with y'all this evening. And the guitar has come back, and this time I got two short little jingles to share with y'all. Two popular songs that hopefully you can guess in the chat. A little fun game, but that will come a little bit later. In the meantime, hope everyone has had a good Tuesday. Almost in my mind, Jack, I was gonna say Monday, but we're not doing Mondays anymore. We're doing Tuesdays. But
Yeah.
this Monday was special. Hope everyone had a good Labor Day weekend. I became a computer gremlin and just worked on YouTube projects all day. But at the very least, I'm finally taking Johnny's advice. I took in his advice, and this is a secret between us, on all of us. But I've been sneaking in some sketching during work.
Ooh, is it like a 10-minute a day thing?
No, half an hour.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, yep. In fact, if you check my account on X, the recent sketch that I posted, that was something I was working on and off throughout the entire work week, and I'm already started on my second sketch. Just right now, my focus is literally just trying to get better at drawing lips and certain angles of faces, and as well, because I want to do like a focus on drawing Shenmue characters, mostly lady characters. I'm also trying to learn how to draw Asian features, which is a lot more trickier than you think. So that's what I've been doing secretly at work. So don't share, don't tell anyone that I'm doing this. And I am making sure that when I'm doing this, it's that I'm taking extra steps to make sure I'm not caught, and that I still get my work done on time. And I'm happy to report that I still get my work done on time. So I ain't no slacker, unlike the guy next to me.
Hey, I'm no slacker.
That's right. You're just
I just make mistakes.
You're just efficient.
I am very efficient whenever I'm under stress.
Oh, and also on more kind of fun things. So I was all into trying to replay No More Heroes, Jack, but then I got distracted by Dragon Quest. So now I'm like near the end of Dragon Quest.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, that is Dragon Quest 1. So I'm at literally the only thing I gotta do is get like a powerful weapon for the final boss, and then go to the final boss. But I still gotta level up some more because I'm at I think the max level in that game is level 20. This is an old JRPG, so there's no like going past level 50, level 100. So 1120, from what I understand, is kind of the cap. And so I'm just trying. So right now, I think I'm at a point where the game wants me to grind, because to get this mystical weapon, I have to go to this deserted town in the southwest portion of the map, and it's like a town that's been destroyed by all these like really strong monsters. And I'm like, all right. And and I had to fight like this really strong knight that at my current level, which I'm level 16, it's maybe if I was more experienced with RPGs, this actually might be a more easier fight. But basically, what ends up happening is I'll try to fight this knight, And first I do is disable any magic spells he can do because he can actually put you to sleep. But and that works. However, then it's his turn. Then he attacks me, and even though I have like 91 health points, he takes off a third of my health in just one hit. And I'm like, okay, so I'm already at disadvantage. A third of my health is gone, and if I try to heal, I can get at max a third of my health back, but usually it's a little less. And so what ends up happening is he'll keep hitting me. I will heal, but all it is just kind of preventing. It's just stalling my inevitable demise. And when I try to attack him, he gets hurt decent damage, but not enough for me to kind of persevere and hit him a few times, heal, hit him a few times, heal. I can't do that because after about 3 or 4 hits, I'm dead. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I gotta do some more grinding. And on the opposite end of the map, there is a town that sells a fire sword, a sword of flame, you could say, for about 9,000 gold. And I have reserve about 4,000 gold. So I'm now reaching the grinding portion of the game. Where it's like, all right, go to the area where all the strongest monsters are, beat them up. Once I get about 1,000 gold, go to the starting town of the game, deposit my gold, and then rinse and repeat until I reach 9,000. And in that time, I would also be leveling up as well. So that's where I am. I was making good progress, and now I'm in the grindy portion of the game.
Gotcha.
It's been,
that reminds me.
Yes.
I don't know. That reminds me of a vaguely similar situation, and you literally just reminded me of one of the most forgettable JRPGs Square Enix made.
That's funny because that describes a lot of them.
Yes, a lot of them, but this one's even more forgettable. The Last Remnant.
Was that on the PS3 and 360?
And also on the PC, which I still have, I think.
I think I remember. I think that was supposed to be like isn't that like a strategy RPG, if I remember?
Funny enough, okay, so if I remember the way it was played, it had it was a party system, but at the same time it had formations you can do with your party, and that affected your damage output, defenses, and all that good stuff.
So would you say it's kind of like XCOM a little bit?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It's like as if someone... It's like as if Final Fantasy went back to their turn-based route with the party system, and they decided in the middle of that, they're like, you know what? The front row and the back row, that's not enough. Let's make it 3D. Have formations, and I think there was certain squads too. Like you can have extra squads. I don't remember on that part.
So
but yeah.
So they take into account accuracy and distance.
I would say no.
No,
I don't know.
Well,
everything just kind of ran at each other.
Well, what made the game forgettable for you then? Besides the fact that you're having a hard time remembering accurately its battle system.
The first of all, the story. I have no idea what the story is anymore. Second of all, the only thing memorable about the whole game, and I every now and then I reference it again, and it's actually, if someone looks through my Twitter feed, really scrolls down to when I didn't have a VTuber, you'll see a random post about me saying, I finally got the ring, and it was literally a ring called the Ring of Grinding, and it gives you, I think it was like plus 15% more experience, because there's one part where I'm like, okay, I really need to grind out levels because for some reason this thing is killing me in like 2 shots, and
Okay.
I'm like, wow, jackpot! I got me in the Ring of Grinding.
Oh, how fun! I think if I could be wrong, but I believe it's the last. It's called the Last Remnant. I
Yes.
believe it's one of those like big budget RPGs Square Enix released during that generation. That was it was an attempt to have it be on the same level as like FF13, maybe a little less, but for one reason or another, it didn't. Um, it wasn't a huge success, and especially during that time, looking back, man, I did not realize, mostly from not from people who play video games or JRPG fans, mostly from the gaming journalist side of things, they had a real hate boner for JRPGs. In fact, looking back during that era, even like mostly indie game devs had a hate boner for just Japanese games in general. It is fascinating to look back on.
No, I'm looking at it right now, and it's kind of coming to me. It weirdly has this. At that time, what was like the current Final Fantasy game?
What? Let's see. What year did the last Remnant come out?
Let me see.
Because if it's like before the 2010s or during, then
Oh,
it
2008. So yeah, that's definitely during the time when Final
13.
Fantasy 11 was out, or 13 too, but like 11, the MMO. The only
Ah,
reason why I say that is because a lot of the models kind of feel like 11.
you think they reuse assets?
I wouldn't say they reused assets, but it has that general vibe.
It could be probably have like the same art director.
Probably, yeah. You know what? Yeah. And the way I see this, okay, it's very interesting. So I was right about the whole thing where it had like formations. Damn, Rush. That's a name. That's a name.
And also, get I know exactly the story you're talking about. So in the chat, Ghetto says, like when Phil Fish, the creator of the former indie darling Fez, says when Phil Fish talked shit about Japanese games in front of Goichi Suda after he praised Fez. And I believe this is the same Suda. This is the same Suda 51 who was well known for making very experimental and one would say artistic games. And I don't say that lightly because I have the unpopular opinion that not every game is a work of art, but
Hmm.
there are some games that actually are works of art, like many of Suda 51 games, like No More Heroes, you can say Shadows of the Dam, and I remember another one. I guess you could say Killer is Dead. If only he didn't have that one, that one mechanic that was he had to force to put. Yeah, he was forced to put on it, in which the game rewards you for being pervy on dates. Like I kid you not, the game rewards you for leering for leering at women and not getting caught. And apparently, that was a mechanic he was forced to put into his game by the publisher.
Ugh, damn.
Yep, yep. I guess they needed to have that sex appeal um, for his weird exoteric action game.
So I see it here. You can have multiple squads, like multiple platoons of people. There is a morale system. I'm assuming with the morale system, you end up doing more damage when it's favorable to you, and you take more damage if it's favorable to the enemy. And you might end up having. I vaguely remember people retreating, so you might end up having a chance where someone will retreat if it goes one way or the other. You gave vague commands to the platoons, but it's just enough to where you're like, okay, they can handle themselves. Where basically there is charge, give it all you got, which I'm assuming is like spam every big heavy spell and attack you know. Heal yourselves with with item arts, which means healing with your items. Keep your HP up, I guess healing with magic, and give defensive support.
Are you
It
like
is true,
are you like controlling armies in this game or something?
practically. But
Hmm.
like it has this it has the feeling of like of a turn-based game where it's just like you control one army and you make it do something. Do it, then go to another one, you make it do something. And there's also this I'm assuming it's like the equivalent of, you know how in Fire Emblem there's like some bonuses where you surround an enemy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They just call it deadlock, where if multiple people come and attack one enemy, they end up getting pinched.
I see. Yeah, that was a comment. He says, "Bruh, just play this guy at that point."
Now it was a long time, and I don't even remember how I got it. I think I got it on like on a sale because it was like a Square Enix game or something.
I see.
And hey, it gave me entertainment.
It did its job.
I may have I may have forgotten the story and the premise of it, but it gave me entertainment.
And you know what? That's still an accomplishment because even some games can't even do that.
Because all I know is that there is a princess somewhere, and I think I found her. I think I found her annoying. I don't remember.
Oh dang! Well, you didn't save her. Too bad.
I didn't save her. All I remember was getting angry at some dragon that I couldn't kill, so I just stopped playing the game.
If she didn't step all that yappy, she may have been saved. Shout out in the chat. Who is your favorite princess character? Personally, I actually like Belle from Beauty and the Beast and
I think the
Cinderella.
princess was like a child, so I'm like, ah.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was thinking
Like,
like
all right, king and queen, you could try for another. It's fine.
oh, okay, I thought it was like a grown woman, but no, if it's a kid, okay, then I take that back. It's just being a kid. But
No,
yeah,
you can try for another. It's fine.
try for a prince this time.
Maybe they'll be able to help me out in fights.
Oh, and also like Princess Fiona. She's cool. Fiona.
Remnant. There was a thing called Remnant.
Don't ask me. But well, I actually do want to share something real quick because
Mm-hmm.
not this actually no this past week I discovered Jack on my side of town
Mm-hmm.
there was a half price bookstore all along that I didn't know about.
Oh.
And
Oh, really?
as someone who likes to buy junk, I decided to make a trip over there. And and it was actually a pretty nice drive. A very nice drive. And also, hey, John, he shares a link. I don't know if I should click it. I mean, yeah, you click it.
Oh,
Check for us. But
I'll click it.
I bought
Also, hi Johnny. It's been a while.
a few things, and I do want to share them. I didn't buy too much, so I can get through them rather quickly. Now, the first item that I want to share is something that I've already. Oh no! Oh no! How bad is it, Jack?
Just the woman going, bastard. Take it. If you want children for me, take it. I got tools to make more. She just shows her underwear. She shows her crotch.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Like, hold on, let me try to. There we go. So for the first item of business, actually make some adjustments to our icons. Lower myself. Put myself up here. Jack, move you over here. There we go. So for the first item, I went ahead and bought myself a very infamous comic book, and that is The Dark Knight Strikes Again by Frank Miller. Now, Jack,
Oh,
I want you. I want to ask you something. Do you know the story The Dark Knight Returns?
yes, more or less.
Yeah.
Just give me a refresher.
It's the alternate future story where you see Batman as a older man, and he and seeing Gotham being so corrupt and vile, he decides to become Batman again at his old age. And it's where he fights a mutant gang that wear like these weird red visors. There's a woman who has swastika pasties on her chest.
Oh yes, yes. You just reminded me just from that. Yes.
Oh wow, really? That? Well, it is a very iconic iconography from the story.
I mean, it's the fact that I'm like, you can't be serious, because I remember you mentioning that, and then you were like, yeah, look it up, and surely enough, there she was with the pasties.
And of course, to also remind you, the story ends with a big confrontation with Batman and Superman, in which Batman, he doesn't really beat Superman, but he's able to at least stop him enough so that he can trick the world into believing that Batman is dead. But secretly, Batman survives the conflict as he continues to wage his war on crime with his new Robin. Now, this story, The Dark Knight Strikes Again, is the sequel. It's a sequel that came out 20 years later. I think this Bleach came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. Can't give you an exact date. And the thing about this book, Jack, that is very infamous, and due to the fact that the writer / artist of the book, Frank Miller, this is where his art went from traditional Marvel art to him finally finding his own style where things look a little blocky but still very comic booky of that era. To where, because he got bigger and he started making his own comics away from Marvel and DC, he decided to make his own art style that makes everyone very blocky, everyone just very ugly looking. In many ways, it's a very ugly looking comic. And it doesn't help the fact that this is one of the very first DC comics that utilized digital coloring. And it shows, since all the pencils and line work were done traditionally, but the colors were added digitally, and because this was brand new technology, the colorist, a Miss Lan Varley, she was very not familiar with that technology, since it was still very young at that point. And so this book is a result of this mixture of two different mediums, and you have very, very odd looking comic book art, especially for a Batman story. As far as what the story is actually about, I can't really remember exactly, other than the fact that a lot of interesting moments happen, from the Robin, that the redhead Robin that he adopted from the first book. I think she leaves Batman and decides to dress up as a cat, not a cat woman, but actually like a striped cat with rollerblades. Two-Face makes an appearance. One of the most infamous moments of the comic. There's a scene where Superman and Wonder Woman meet together, and this version is kind of similar to Injustice. They are a couple, so there's no Lois Lane. Mm-hmm. And there's an infamous moment in the middle of the book where Superman and Wonder Woman make love while flying through the air, and in the narration it is described that their love shook mountains. And I don't think they mean that metaphorically. So now again, those are just moments. I don't remember what they are in context, but I do know that this is pretty much a book where Frank Miller gets to use a lot more DC characters than he did in the first book. Because for the first one, most of it was isolated to just stuff in Batman and Gotham, with the only non-Batman characters he used was Superman and Green Arrow. And even then, their usage was like only like near the end of the story. Here is where he gets to, all right, now let's bring in more DC related characters within this alternate world of not just Gotham, but of the United States, in which basically the Cold War never truly ended. So there's still this power struggle between the United States and the Soviet Union, even past when in real history when that ended back in the late 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and one of the big reasons why I got this book was because it was less than $10.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I was like, if it was full price, I don't think I would have bought it. I would have bought it, not bought it. I wouldn't have bought it. But because it was, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's misunderstood. Maybe it's not that bad. Moving on, along with buying a full comic, I also got some anime DVDs, and this one is actually something that's going to be very important in the future. So Jack, Jack, I don't know if you are aware of this, but there's a video I made a few years ago. That's one of my Hack Cross videos, the anime related videos, that I kid you not, that still to this day still gets views and the occasional comments.
Really?
Yep, and in fact, I'm gonna double check right now to see where it stands because I'm actually very proud of that video. And if I could find it real quick, let's see. Oh, it should be a. There you go. Give me a second. I'm looking at here it is. So the video in question is my review of Karas, the Prophecy. And that came out back in, when did I upload this video? Oh, wow, back in on Christmas Day 2020. So coming up 4 years ago, about to be 4 years ago now. And currently it holds 661 views with 34 likes and no dislikes. Pretty good for a little channel.
Yeah.
And
actually really good.
Yep. And in that review, I did mention that one day I will review the sequel, and of course over the years I've been doing a lot of things, so Karas unfortunately slipped my mind until today, where I finally, at the half price books, right there in the DVD aisle, I found the DVD for the sequel, Karas, the Revelation. It was right there. I'm like, oh, huh. That's the last thing I expected. And of course, there was no doubt in my mind. I went and picked it up. And I should also share this picture with you, Jack. It's just to cover the DVD, but at least give you an idea what the heck I'm talking about. I found it, and I had to get it. It was no question. And of course, this means that once my current projects are done with, this is definitely going to be up next because I finally got this damn thing. And here you go, Jack, so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. And I can finally put this little series to rest. If you want to know what my thoughts on the first movie, you can watch the review to plug myself to get my full thoughts. And I also forgot that. Shaggy, aka Matthew Lillard, is one of the voice actors in this series. So there you go. If you want to hear Shaggy in an anime, here you go. Now, the other last anime DVD I got is also something that I'm familiar with, but I wonder if the audience is, because I would you know what? I think Ghetto will know this. And Ghetto, I don't know how you'll feel about this, but I finally got myself a mecha anime. And you're probably wondering, oh wow, what anime is it? Jack, I'm sharing you the photo right now. Unfortunately, it's probably not one that you're gonna be excited for. The anime I got was Blue Gender. Now,
Could you tell me the gender of this?
It's
blue.
Yes, it's blue.
What are their pronouns?
Azul and Azure.
Oh, okay. That is actually very. It took me like a second to realize, but clever, clever.
And Gata with the perfect response, he says, "I mean, all right." I told you. He says it's a start. Now the only reason why I got this this DVD was because of my childhood. I shared the story a few times, so I'll go through it quickly. I used to own a VHS copy of the Gotenks episodes of Dragon Ball Z. And every time I would watch it, there would be commercials at the start. And there was two trailers that I vividly remember to this day. One of them was for a Lupin the Third movie called Lupin the Third: The Twilight Gemini, which I actually have seen recently thanks to Tubi. Tubi, please sponsor us. And unfortunately, that wasn't really worth it. That was honestly kind of a mediocre Lupin movie.
Dang.
Yeah, it was disappointing. And the other trailer was for this one, Blue Gender, which I have heard of similar reception. That's why Ghetto says I, because it's one of those animes that has probably been forgotten to time. But the crazy part is when you actually watch it, you could tell there's a lot of effort put into it. So that's kind of one of the sad things about it. It's not like it wasn't some cheap project. This was like an expensive, probably like OVA series these animators put the heart and soul into. And when it came out, it went with a thunderous, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But who knows? Maybe when I watch it, I might feel something differently. Because at this point, I don't want to be different, Jack, but I do want to be open-minded. And sometimes, you can't always trust what a YouTube critic says. Sometimes you just gotta see things for yourself and make your own conclusions. And lastly, but surely not least, this one is just the most different out of everything I got, everything I purchased from the half price books. I bought a CD. Also, hello, Dr. Crow. You're just in time as I'm going to reveal the last item I bought from my trip to the half price books this weekend. And
real quick before that, sorry. But a big congratulations to Dr. Crow.
Yes.
She just hit affiliate on Twitch.
That's right. Where's that soundboard button? I got it. A clap for Dr. Crow. He is growing his audience strong and true, and soon enough, he probably can actually make some money on Twitch.
Yeah.
So no, but yes, congratulations, Dr. Crow. It's good to see you thriving and growing. You deserve it. You've been at this for too long, so it's nice to see some good news for you. All right. Now let me get back my train of thought. All right. So the last item here, I'm gonna share with you that it's actually a CD, and I got this just purely out of interest. I have no idea what this was, but this is a CD called the Music of Hikari Oi. Now, Jack, do you know who this gentleman is of Hikari Oi?
No.
Fair enough. I didn't know either. And probably the chat doesn't know. But when I bought the CD, I was like, it's like, this is interesting. Because looking at it, it was music from a Japanese artist. And it has to be, in my mind, is like, well, it has to be worth something if it's going to be imported into another country. So I bought it. And of course, because of previous lessons learned, before I left the parking lot of the Half Price Books, I immediately put the CD in my car and just listened to it to make sure it actually works. It does, thankfully. And I was pleasantly surprised to what I heard. And I actually encourage everyone to take a listen to it. So the music of Hikari Oi, and what it is, it's a contemporary classical music album. And it is only 2 performers on this album. The pianist, more like composer, but he plays the piano, Hikari Oi, and a flute player. Let me grab the CD so I can get proper credit. Where did I put that damn thing? Oh wait, I remember now. Give me a second. Can I go get it? All right, I got it back. It was on top of my Black Sabbath albums. So you have the. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself earlier. Okay. So this is a very unique artist, and the only way I can describe it is by actually reading you remember in old Gemini K CDs, the cover also was double as like a little booklet. You remember those days, Jack?
Gemini CD.
Yeah, look at the picture I sent you. The CD case, that's called a diamond or Gemini case, one of those things.
I didn't know that's what they were called, but yes.
Yeah, and usually the front cover doubles as a booklet most of the time when it comes to like CDs or video games.
I kind of miss those, the booklets.
Me too, but at the same time, it's a things from a bygone era.
I just kind of find it odd. But it's just a small thing.
Mm-hmm.
I find it odd that in those books, like you can see it like in currently any new cases, like CD cases that we have for video games, they still have those little clips where they hold the booklet, but they never put a booklet. So I wonder, like, what's the point of wasting resources to even add the clips there?
That's more just a standard practice. Like that's how these things are mass manufactured with those clips, and it's up to whoever is using them to if they want to use them or not.
Gotcha.
Now, so I want to read this excerpt, and it's not too long, so please bear with me. But it's important to understand who this artist is, and I actually want to also correct myself. What I said earlier, Hikari Oi, he is the composer, but he does not perform any of the music in this album. That credit goes to the pianist, Akiko Ibi, and on the flute, Hiroshi Koizumi. Now, there's a reason why Mr. Hikari Oi is not any performer, and I'll read to you his very interesting origins. So this comes from the booklet from the music of Hikari Oi, the first page, and it's an excerpt entitled "If Music Were Not to Exist," and this is written by his father, Kenzaburo Oi. Quote, "I feel quite horrified when I stop to think what might have happened had my son Hikari never listened to music. What has become the most essential part of his daily life would not have taken shape within him. Moreover, it might have well been impossible for us, his family, to surmount the many difficulties which had confronted us. I feel this with compelling immediacy as I look back over the past 3 decades with Hikari. who has lived these years with a mental handicap. Hikari was born with an abnormal growth, which was soon removed surgically from his head in a difficult operation. But although Hikari's mental retardation gradually became evident thereafter, he continued to grow physically in his cot just like any other healthy infant. His young mother listened frequently at this time to the music of Mozart and Chopin, mainly to shield herself from the anxiety over the child. Looking back from the vantage point of the present, it seems that the baby must have listened intently to this music. Hikari eventually had the good fortune to encounter a piano teacher who gave him the chance to discover the joy to be had from the creation of harmony and melody. One day he showed us his first composition, written in long-tailed notes resembling bean sprouts, and we could but marvel at this astonishing development. It was after several performances of his music by gifted friends that we began to understand exactly what musical composition meant to Hikari. Had he not composed, he would surely never have been able at any time in his life to convey the rich, profound, crystalline, and radiant message contained in this music. For our part, had Hikari not composed, he would have never realized, nor would we have been able to even imagine, that he possessed this sensibility. The scope of what we might have gained from this world and understood of it would have been significantly narrowed. I feel we would have missed gaining an insight into some of the most important and humble aspects of the meaning of human life. Hikari continues to travel every day to the Welfare Institute and spend most of his remaining time listening to music. I used sometimes to think that there was no accumulation of historical time within his life, for never have I heard him express in words his memories of the past. But it's quite clear from Hikari's compositions that history lives within him. One piece expressed his feelings to the doctor whom he most loved and respected. Another piece alludes to parting from a handicapped friend. Yet other pieces allude to the sunlight which bathed him and his brother and sister in a mountain cottage in the summer and to the falling snow. Hikari's range of expression is now extending beyond our home. It is moving towards unexpected and distinctive quarters and is finding its residence over an ever wider area. We are once again experiencing the joy of a profound mystery. Dated April 3rd, 1993. In short, ladies and gentlemen, what I have purchased, unbeknownst to me at the time, was actually the composed music of a man who, in many ways, from our knowledge of how the mind works, shouldn't have the ability to compose music in the first place, given the fact that he can barely speak, barely communicate, and as well is needed constant support from his family, from feeding to bathing and so forth. But the human mind also shows how resilient it is, in that despite all the setbacks that Mr. Hikari Oe has in his life, he still is able to create very marvelous, very beautiful music that he brings to life through his mind, and thus others bring with their instruments. So I would say after the stream is over to take a listen to it. You can easily find this music on YouTube, and especially if you need something calming to listen to at night, check out this album. This is the music of Hikari Oe. It is original classical pieces composed by the man with two other performers playing the music. It is 25 tracks, but none of the songs overstay their welcome. Some are as short as 50 seconds or even 20 seconds long, as each of the songs have some sort of meaning and or resonance for the composer. So again, this is the music of Hikari Oe. Take a listen, see for yourself what beautiful music that might have stood by, that's been under our noses for the past almost 20 years, as this CD has a copyright date of 1992. I'm sorry, not 1994. In fact, I'll be 30 years. So, and that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say on the stuff I got from Half Price Books. So go ahead and remove this image. There we go.
Pretty good find, though.
Yes. It's one of the things where I really like going to thrift stores or secondhand stores like Half Price Books, because you quite honestly will never know what you're gonna find. And so far, I have found lots of treasure, stuff I didn't know that existed, like the album I just talked about, or things that I never thought even existed, like last month when I bought the DVD for Ultimate Muscle, even if that cost me a pretty penny. So I am very glad that at this point in my life that I am looking out and searching for things that are unknown to me, and that I'm going things with an open mind to see, to listen, to read, or to hear, or to watch things that I may never heard of, or things that are forgotten, but I want to bring them back and see if maybe time has either been kind to it, or just simply to experience something that is different that you don't get in your everyday life. And with that, let's go ahead, transition into something a bit more jumpy, a little less melodramatic. That was kind of a melodramatic excerpt, as it needed to be. It's appropriate tone. Because I got to the left of me my guitar, and as I'm going playing on this bad boy, you will not hear my voice, because I believe I found a way to make sure that everyone, including Jack, can hear my small performances in real time. And so I got two little riffs I would like to share with you today. Both of them for very popular songs of two very different genres and two very different eras. And so, there you go. Got my Betsy the Second. Gonna put her across my neck. There we go. Put on her right now, and of course, I'm gonna give her, for the audience, to get her, going to strum her a bit. And please let us know if it's too loud, too soft, because of what's heard on my end could always be different on your end. So please do not hesitate to speak up if the guitar is too loud, if it's too soft, or if it's hurting your ears. I especially don't want to hurt your ears, like I have done in the past.
Hear that, Johnny? Be careful.
And I'm gonna go and start with the first song. I'm gonna audibly disappear, and Jack, you will be hearing the first song as well. So go into my Discord settings. Here we go. All right, I'm about to disappear, so to speak, and I hope you enjoy this song I'm about to play. And of course, I would like to see who can guess first what the guitar riff I'm about to play. So with that, here we go. Oh, all right. That hope everyone heard that. Hope everyone heard that. I decided to kind of improvise a little bit, but it should have been familiar. Jack, do you have any guesses? And please tell me you heard that.
On the bright side, I heard all of it except for the last chord.
Okay, well, at least you heard all of it. And oh, Chris got it right in the chat. You're correct, sir. I was using the famous riff from Roy Orbison's Pretty Woman.
Thank you for answering because I had no answer.
All right, time for song number 2. I gotta switch effects on my pedal here. Ooh, not that one. Not that one. Where is it? Where's my... Actually, no, I think I passed it. I remember what it is. There it is. All right, I'll be disappearing again for the second riff. And hopefully, I would say I recommend lowering your volume just a little bit down. It is going to be much louder. So, it's a fair warning. And here I go. Disappearing now. All right, I'm back.
All right.
Actually, I don't think you were able to hear that word. I think I forgot to change the setting.
I was not able to hear it, but I did hear it through the.
I see.
Through the stream.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Thank you. And Ghetto was right. That was the riff for Holy Diver. And I would say I do apologize for kind of butchering a little bit, mostly because my hands are very sweaty and this room is hot. As if that's any excuse, but I'm at least glad you guys are able to recognize it. And with that, that ends the guitar portion of the stream. I'm glad you liked it. And next time, Jack, I gotta remember to do all the settings. I forgot. I literally made sure so you could hear it, and then forget to do it on the second song. Oi, man! Fine. What does that say about me? What does that say? All right, put in my.
That you're forgetful.
Oh, don't say that. Then all the ladies will
You'll scare all the ladies.
Exactly, because I won't remember their birthdays. All right.
Just make sure you mark it down on a calendar and on a calendar app.
Never. No, I'm kidding. I probably should. No, I gotta show that I'm serious by memorizing it and forgetting it every year. All right. And Runas actually do make sure to do that. So I'm just saying, it's all jokes. I'm not that forgetful. All right. Now, Jack, there was something also music related that you would like to share for us tonight.
Johnny, I only called one girl flat, and that was by accident.
Oh no!
I didn't know it was such a big deal at that time.
Oh no!
It was the moment when I already mentioned the story, but very quickly, it was the one when I said, "Oh, I didn't feel. Oh, I thought that was your shoulder." That's what I said because like I was holding someone, and I said, "Oh, I thought that was your shoulder."
Is there one too many, you monster?
One too many. But to go on topic, yes, I did. I wanted to talk about something music related. And it happened more or less on Sunday. So I've been talking more and more with a friend of mine and they have been recently gotten into just more in music production in general.
All right.
And it kind of warms my heart because even though compared, like, of course, this is telling everyone in chat, compared to the HAC, he is more music savvy when it comes to like the theoretical, and like actually like I still think he's like more knowledgeable than me when it comes to music in general. But I felt like I was teaching someone in a proper way, because like I was talking to my friend. They didn't know how to make music, or they didn't know where to start. So like the only thing I did, it was like I referenced them to a couple of videos that have been currently helping me out learning in music theory, and just generally anything other than knowing what a quarter note is. And it was a video where it was just simply learning how to play in a minor key and basically make a minor key, just a natural minor. So like learning the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7s, which ones are diminished. It was like it's a short 8-minute video, and I showed it on my streams before. It's short, but it's very informative, and it helps out so much. And recently they've been showing me their progress, and I am just like overjoyed with the progress that they're having. And it basically gave me some motivation to make music, to make a song, which was actually what I made yesterday. And that was basically all from just the motivation I got from listening to them making their own music. And it struck a chord with me. Haha, chord because guitar. But it struck a chord with me because the fact that they're learning was because the fact that they're learning Ableton and any DAWs, any type of programs that are for music programs, was because they wanted to incorporate their bass in music, which is pretty much the same thing, the same reasoning why I want to why I want to learn more music in general, more music theory, because of the fact that I want to incorporate my guitar into the music that I'm making currently. But yeah, I am pretty much in a sense proud that I was able to at least help out in some way, even if it means even if for some people it might not be a lot.
That is very, very beautiful. That is a beautiful moment, Jack. And actually, and as that is actually very, uh, very positive and very endearing. That the act of helping someone trying to understand how to create music gave you the motivation and also part of the clarity to finish the song that you did yesterday. So that is a beautiful and wonderful, wonderful thing. Do not anyone take that away from you. And heck, hope that inspires people in all your artistic pursuits, whether it be drawing, music, writing, or collecting shells by the seashore. All of us have something to pursue, and we should be motivated by not by when we hear others share their positive stories of creativity, and that is a very positive one, Jack. I appreciate it for you sharing that.
And it's actually very interesting because it's interesting seeing the progress from the other from an outside perspective, because it's like literally they were saying how she said how whenever she was learning the bass before, she's like literally the first way she started the conversation was, "You want to know something funny?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" I have Fender Play on my apps. Had it for 2 years. Could not play my bass at all, or like somewhere along those lines. Just like could not play my bass well. You show me one video, and I am now currently understanding. Instead of just randomly pressing down notes and trying to experiment on things, trying to like this is the craziness of how most of these apps kind of teach you. They had the tuner, their tuner on their bass, and they ended up playing each note individually and trying to figure out what that note is. So imagine you right now going to your guitar, playing on that first E string, going, okay, this is E. Now let me see what happens when I press that first fret. Okay, that is an F. Next one, F sharp. Basically, rediscovering pretty much rediscovering music. And she's like, just watching that video, I now understand what each string in my bass is. When my 2 years with Fender Blade, I couldn't understand. I could play something, but I could not do anything. I cannot like improvise. And I'm like, yep, that's literally what happened to me. I'm just like, in my mind, I'm just like, this is like exactly what happened to me.
a little,
And
a
it
little.
was
I was just,
mhm.
I was just coming. A little theory never hurts anyone.
Basically, I'm just like, and it's just like a little bit just goes a long way. Seriously, like I didn't, and I always say like this is why a lot of these apps and things they may teach you how to play a song, but they don't really teach you the more deeper aspects of an instrument.
Or to put it simply, they teach you how to play a song, but they don't teach you how to understand music.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like it is wild seeing someone going through the same process you are. And like I'm not saying that I'm not going to say that I am ahead of them, because by this point I feel like we're almost on the same, we're basically both learning in the same pace.
That's pretty, and that's actually you're pretty lucky in that lucky in that regard, because then, uh, not really. I won't say use the word of rivalry because that's inherently competitive, but more so, you have a creative partner to able to challenge and experiment with, so that each of you can learn something from one another. Because obviously, uh, going to in your artistic pursuits, and this is for everyone, are going to divulge into how you want to tackle something, and through that, you will come across techniques or ideas or concepts that the other may not have, and then in sharing the information, you grow your tool set and also begin to improve your own craft, and uh, and enjoy the process of creating together. So that's the same that happens with music, with art, writing, with game development. It is it's one of those things where it is always going to be a struggle when you're going through the thick of it and trying to draw or create something. Because, for example, I can't tell you how many like doodle sketches that I just whipped out on my sketchbook because I just didn't have the focus to do a proper sketch. And but then, after I get that on my system, I'm focused, and I go, all right, now let's actually try to do this. And as I'm sketching, I am not I am always open to hearing what other artists have to say. Especially on YouTube. I think one of the positives of these YouTube shorts is the algorithm is learning me pretty well, and they've actually been sending me or recommending me videos from artists who are doing like these quick little minute long or even less guides, especially when it comes to anatomy, to perspective, so that it can help me start to learn how to properly make my art improve, and not just be like, oh, I drew something pretty. It's like, no, no, I understand how the body works, how lighting works, and how perspective works. Which is, those are the fundamental things when it comes to art. And with music, scales and learn how to incorporate them in chords are the same as equally fundamental concepts in making music.
And like that was an interesting thing too, because like I'm pretty sure whenever, because when we first started talking about the more deep into music, because they told me that they played bass, that and they wanted to learn guitar. That was like actually the very first instance that we ever talked about music more in deep. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, it's not gonna be too hard then. And they're like, why? What do you mean? Like, well, there's always been this saying where like when you learn one string instrument, you kind of learn them all. Not because like, I mean, of course, there's always when it differing in forms and how to hold something, but generally you'll figure out when what string is what, and then you'll figure out, okay, if that string is this, then you can be able to play. Then I'll know where this in this position it'll be, like, let's say this one's an E string, then I'll know in this position if I go down a little bit it'll be the F. If I go down a little bit more it's an F sharp. You'll generally know where certain things are, where certain notes are. And the bass, it's like literally not that different from the guitar, other than maybe rhythms and styles of things. You're literally taking the two highest strings in the guitar and then making them thicker, and that's the bass. Or not that, you're taking off the two high strings of the guitar and making the others thicker, because you have E sorry, every single time.
EADG.
Yeah, EADG. Every single time whenever I'm like, I can, if someone asks me how to tune something, I'll do it right there and then. And then as soon as they're like, okay, what are the four top strings? I'm like, what? It's like, I guess like in the moment.
You gotta think about
Because
it.
like,
You gotta think about it.
because I was like, no, I don't even need to think about it. Just for some weird reason right now I had to. But yeah, guitar, and the guitar, EADGBE. That's the, I might have said I might have said it so fast that it sounded like a spell, but the strings are EADGBE. For a bass, it's just EADG.
Eddie A Dynamite, goodbye, Eddie.
Oh, I don't even like. Funny enough, like I don't even. The way I remember it was from just like saying the names in a rhythm. Weirdly enough, just
I
the
just
notes.
same. I just find that acronym funny.
Although I have recently been learning the music sheets. I forgot what they're actually called, but it's like every good boy.
Oh, like you mean on the music staff?
Yeah, the music staff.
Yeah. So you got the lines, which the acronym for that goes. There's variants, but the one I know is every good boy deserves fudge.
Yeah, and then the other one I don't even know the acronym. I just say face.
That's what it is. It's face. FACE. That's where the spaces.
Yeah, but like
Um,
that's the funny thing where I was just like, and I remember they taught us this like when we were like kids trying to play a recorder, but
yeah, I remember
for
that
some,
too. I remember learning that on the recorder. I remember the
but I think
teacher
it was just
too.
the fact that it was a recorder. I'm just like, nah, this is not gonna retain. Like I had fun playing the recorder, but once when we stopped, I'm like, oh, okay.
I remembered it because by the time I hit fifth grade, that's when I started wanting to be in band, and I still remember my third grade music teacher. And I think he was also my fourth grade. I remember to this day. His name was Mr. Pat. Mr. Pat, big old, uh, big old guy, and he, looking back, he was probably a very influential person in my life because he's the because he was a type of teacher that even though it was
Mm.
elementary students, he introduced us to to Mozart, to Beethoven, and he even introduced us to James Brown. In fact, I still remember for one like class project, we had to learn how to sing a James Brown song. Oh man, that's probably where I got my appreciation for funk and all that old 60s and 70s soul music because of Mr. Pat. Same thing with the classical. Heck, I even remember there was a day in my school where it was like they decided to do like a Mozart appreciation day, and there was like this whole little not diorama, but it was like this whole setup where you see like portraits of Mozart, his famous songs, and just little trivia about him. And I was like, and the fact I still remember that to this day, not the details, but I remember that existing. It spoke to how much that influenced me at a very, very young age. Thank you, Mr. Pat.
You know, that reminds me of one of our, well, that was actually my, what did he teach specifically? I don't remember. I think it was just high school history. Yeah, I think that was just it. But I do remember he actually plays in a band, and sadly I don't think the band exists anymore. I think they disbanded. But it's like every single time whenever you have a band, they get one good album and they're gone.
That's pretty normal actually.
I know, and I'm just like, this album is so good. I like it. I love it. And one time whenever I was subbing again, I I asked them like, "Hey, it's been a while." Like, yeah. Like, so are you guys gonna be making any more music? And
we'll get right back on
like,
you on that.
It was basically that. It was just like, yeah, we're thinking about something, and then nothing.
Yeah. That's the important part with all this creative stuff is that unless you can make money off of it, it takes a while to even start a project, let alone finish one. Especially if it's something like,
sure.
especially if it's something like a band, because that's who said. I'm trying to remember who said it. I forget what a famous musician said it, but basically his comments were that in regards to trying to manage a band, he pretty much says like he compares it to trying to manage a band is like having 4 wives that you have to work with.
Yeah, I can definitely see that because like just the fact that you might like a certain thing and like, okay, look at this riff I did. And like, is it cool, right? And then everyone else like, either this one guy's like, yeah, that looks awesome, and then the other guy just like, no, that's dog shit. I don't like it. Get rid of it.
And then try to set up times to meet and try to get funds and make sure everyone practices and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Good thing your painters and artist sites don't have to set up meetings just to do your craft. You can do it on your own time for the most part.
Unless if it's one of those, it's been a long time since I've ever seen one, but it's like collab animations where they have different animators do different sections of an idea.
Oh yeah, usually they, at least on YouTube, the ones I see that get the most attention are the ones that like you recreate a famous scene from a movie or from a TV show.
Yeah.
Which those are always fun to see, especially when you have someone be a bit more creative and not do traditional animation, or like your regular like or just regular digital animation. Especially if they do like puppets or or something of that regard. I always find those funny. It's always so jarring.
Let me see if I can find the band name.
But and
Every now and then, but I'll send it to you specifically, Hack.
thank you. And with that, I believe we can come to a good conclusion for today's very insightful and hopefully a positive episode. And also, I want to highlight. I did see your comment about you learning the bass, and he said that he says, I admit playing Guitar Hero Rock Band did help a bit. I mostly learned bass by tutorials on YouTube and experimenting, which has a lot of people's origins nowadays when it comes to learning any type of craft. And YouTube's very helpful. I think the only thing that YouTube can't do is give any personal mentorship, which especially if you really want to um, increase your skill set. YouTube tutorials can only do so much, but having like a mentor of some sort, or having another person who can actually guide you is having that is very much a luxury and a blessing, because they can truly bring out the best out of you because they've been in your shoes before, and so they know exactly what to do. If they're good mentors, they know exactly what to do to get you over whatever hump you're dealing with, or get you out of your comfort zone. And as we reach the end, Jack, do you have anything you would like to announce as we're closing out this episode?
Let's see. So tomorrow, I should be good to stream something. It will be a little bit, I would say, I guess typical for current trends. I will be playing Black Myth Wukong. My brother gifted me the game, so I might as well try it.
I thought you were gonna say Concord.
Oh no, you're not gonna. I didn't even spend money on the Suicide Squad game. I got it for free because of the. What makes you think I'm gonna play Concord?
Because you want to be those people who play the game before it shut down and make a hour-long YouTube video essay on it.
I just I'm currently watching one guy that is a quote unquote, and I only say it because I don't know the person, quote unquote, he is a professional character designer. My God, he is ripping into every character. Like, the gist of it, I'll give you a summary of like every character. This character, terrible. Next character. This character, terrible. Next one. This one looks like a trash mob. Terrible.
Oh, but by the way, Go, speaking of Austin Eruption, I get recommended one of his videos lately where he played every Marvel Fox licensed video game that's been released. And the thing that caught the most attention was, my God, that guy needs sleep. Like, I can see the blackness under his eyes. That Austin guy needs to stop recording videos and get some sleep. Good Lord. That's how bad it was. That's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to watch this video. Go get some sleep, man. It's for your health, man. For your health.
I found the name. Yeah. And I already sent it to you, Hack. And if anyone else is interested, the name of the band is Fox Parlor.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
They got three songs and then they left.
Well, I hope you enjoy your time with Black Myth Wukong. You'll be one of the few Americans who be actually playing the game.
Really? I'm surprised. I thought that was like, isn't there like 2 million something people playing out on Steam? Like, that was the highest amount at one time at one point?
Yep, and majority of them are from China.
Really? Huh. Well, I'll see how the game is. But other than that, I forgot this whole tangent was because of me talking about something else. There are things set in motion. I've already contacted a few people. Hack already knows of who I contacted and has been giving me very, very helpful critiques. So things have been set in motion already.
And as far as my announcements, thank you, Miss Saren, for joining us. You have a lovely evening yourself. As far as for my announcements, I am currently 3/4 of the way done editing the comic roundup video, And I do encourage when that video releases, which I am praying that I can get that done before the end of this week. I would love to hear some feedback on how to improve the video and the format, because I really would love to do that type of stuff more often, but it still has got to be not only informative but entertaining for you guys, the audience. So please, when that video releases, any and all comments will be appreciated. Also, I also do want to announce that that since it is September, which means that it's going to be very soon that I'm going to be reviewing the next batch of the Ultimate Spider-Man series. However, I've looked ahead, and unfortunately, issue 9 will be coming out literally at the last week of September. So, and I know my turnaround time, so I'm gonna say it now. Please expect the next review of the Ultimate Spider-Man 7 through 9 to be releasing in early October. Nothing new to announce for the Saint Seiya project. I do need to just get on top of these more quicker projects, so then I can have time to do that. So that's all I have to say. Oh, and as well, I am planning. I am in the midst of planning, hopefully before the end of the year, to do a few more live streams of games that I want to play, but I just need some equipment to do that, so that will take some time. So until then, I will be focused mainly on just doing videos, and depending on situations, some impromptu live streams, because we're now coming at the part of the season where a lot of video games are releasing that I'm excited for. Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, Sonic Generations, Cross Shadow, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Hope, and probably others that I'm forgetting. So for Jack and I, this is going to be we're going to be spending a lot of money in video games in the next few months, I'll tell you what.
Yep.
So with that,
definitely.
So with that, thank you very much for watching episode 193 of the HACJAC Show. And this is Hack and Jack, sign off.